This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening all. So do you have any doubts regarding for the last class? Am I audible first of all?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, good. So yesterday I taught you some of the things like interface of the SAP, how to get login into the SAP system, and how to start virtual machine of SAP. I hope you have gone through this video which we have shared in the group. Then how many of you have done, and still how many of you have doubts? First 5 minutes I'll take your call if you have any doubts. No doubts? Okay, what is the full form of ECC? You can use the chat box and you can type the answer. The full form of ECC. And give some example for technical module and functional module. What is stand for SAP? Good, Asuma.
System application product in data processing.
System application product in data processing. That's good. Okay. Then ERP,
Enterprise resource planning.
enterprise resource planning. Then ECC, ECC, ABAP,
Advanced business application program.
advanced business application in programming. Okay. Then SPRO, be quick. SAP project reference object. SPRO, it means SAP project reference object. Mm. Then what is R3? R stands for what? 3 stands for what? I hope all of you have attended for the last class. Hmm? R stands for
Three
real
tier.
time. Real time. 3 stands for 3 tier. 3 tier is nothing but 3 layers. Okay, so how many layers are there here? As we said, 3 layers. But what is the first layer among this?
Presentation.
Good, presentation layer. Second one, say I only typed application layer. Then what is the next one?
Database.
Good, database layer. Then what is the functions of the presentation layer? What it does? So
We can
presentation
access the
layer.
SAP software through
Yes,
this.
good. So there are two methods to access SAP, correct, right? So presentation layer supports to access SAP in two ways. One is through GUI. Next one is through web browser, correct? Next, what about the presentation, sorry, application layer? So in the presentation layer, it provides graphical screen to the user. Provide graphical screen to user. There's the first one. And second, user can able to enter data on the screen. I think yesterday we have seen using SAP Easy Access and if you type SPRO, when you press enter key, it is taking you to one more application in that. So and in the status bar, which is showing that what is the status of that. So like that, the presentation layer which supports for entering the data on the screen, and also which shows that processed data to the user. That shows processed data to the user. These are the major functions. And when it comes to application layer, what is the first key point? According to the structure, this is middle layer of the R3 architecture, and process the data using application logic, which uses application logic for the process. And practically I have shown you that message server and all. So message server, IGS, WG, few example for application server, and also which communicates between the layers like presentation layer and as well as database layer, that would communicate with both the layers. And next, that would read the data and also write, read and write from database. So this is all about three major points about application layer. Okay, now when we talk about database layer, could you describe what exactly this? The main function is stores the data. Next,
Sir, sorry to interrupt.
yes ma.
Can you please tell the full form of ECC?
ECC, enterprise central component ma. Okay,
Thank you.
what I do is one minute, I'll give the clarity. SAP system application product in data processing. ERP, enterprise resource planning. This is again enterprises central component. Then ABAP, advanced business application programming. So I was in database layer. Database layer stores the data, and database layer consists of central database management system that containing all R3 systems. Whatever R3 systems we have, that stores in the database only, database management system. And this one has two set of component in the database. One is database itself, and another one is DBMS. Clear? So database layer consists of central database system containing all R3 systems, and it has two components. The number one, DBMS, number two, database itself. So could you tell me what is the SAP has manufactured its own database name in the year 2015, 2016? Hmm? SAP has manufactured its own database. Good. Good,
Hana, yes,
Lekha.
sir.
HANA, yes. So that called as HANA. So HANA is compatible with all major database such as Oracle also, Oracle, SQL Server, any DBMS you take. If you take, so this is going to be working. So up to this much yesterday we have discussed. Is it right? So any doubts? Database layer, application layer, and presentation layer, and also practically also we have seen. You ask me if you have any doubts. No doubts, right? Okay, so next we talk about as of methodology, ASAP implementation phases. Methodology also we can call it as accelerated SAP. ASAP means accelerated SAP methodology. So it's nothing but it is a implementation phases. Okay, assume it like there is a company like NICT company or Reliance company. They have Tally. Okay, if they are using that still old system instead of SAP, if they are using old system like Tally or any other accounting software, but the next day SAP means Reliance company planning to implement SAP across all the group of Reliances, then is that easy to implement? So it's not as we think, it's not easy. Okay, so to understand that we have implementation phases. So there is a IBM means SAP partners who have taken license like a dealer. So they'll be implementing SAP software. So behalf of SAP company. So what as per the company or client requirement. Okay, the first phases of this implementation phase is project preparation, project preparation, and second one is business blueprint. This is also called as BBP. And next, third one that goes to realization. Then fourth one is final preparation. Then fifth one is go live. So these are the 5 phases of implementation phases or as a accelerated SAP. Sir, what it does in the project preparation? When we take here project preparation, what is the activity in this phase? So do you think how long it takes for implementation of SAP in a client organization? Approximately use the chat box and you type according to your opinion how long it takes for SAP implementation or SAP installation. Is it 1 day? Is it 2 days? Is it 1 month? How do you think?
So around
How
6 months.
good? 1 month. Tanulata is saying that 1 month. Okay, good. Next 6 month. That's good. Okay. Any other answer? So 3 to 4 months. Good, Padmashri. Okay. My second question is why it is taking months together? Why it is taking months together? If I have any other software, that would take within 30 minutes, within 1 hour, within a day. Correct, right? For implementation or installation, configuration, everything it will get over by 24 within 24 hours. But why SAP it's taking hours together, or sorry, months together? Is there any reason? Okay, that gives that answer here when I'm explaining this implementation process. Clear? Okay, so project preparation is nothing but okay, huge cost and combustives. Good. Okay, so first we'll try to understand here why it is taking hours together, sorry, months together in the first phase. Once the client decided, okay, so client is nothing but in this example Reliance I have taken. Okay, so once the Reliance company decided wants to implement in it's in ERP system. Okay, so they used to prepare the landscape, system landscape. Okay, so system landscape is nothing but arrangement of the server of the project. Please understand again here. So once the client is decided on its ERP system, so they used to prepare the landscape of the project. So landscape of the project, which includes the arrangement of the server and also server information, project cost, then resources, subject matter experts like a consultant. Yesterday we spoke about technical consultant and also functional consultant. Okay, so resources, subject matter experts like a consultant, and also business teams. Okay, so this is decided by the project management organization. Clear? So in the PMO, project management organization consists project manager, steering committee, and core business members and other sponsors. Clear? A project team consists project manager, then steering committee, core business members, like as I said for this one, what is that, sponsors. Okay, so these are all major committee people so in this project management organization. So this is decided. Once it's decided, then project team study that legacy system and gather the information regarding for the core system, what interfaces is required for the client and what is necessary for them, what is nice to have them. Okay, so this is what project team is going to gathering all types of informations according to their requirement. And there is one more team called as core team. So core team is going to studies as is studying. So that's nothing but the current system of the company and how it's processing. This methodology or this process is called as is studying. A study of the current system and its process is called as is. Okay, this is going to be studied by core team. And there is one more team called as project management team. So this project management team hires the resources and carry out the project planning and outline. So this is works in the project preparation. Is it clear? Understood? So in this project preparation, once a client decided on its ERP system, They prepare the landscape, arrangement of servers of the project. In this stage, server information, project cost, resources, SME, subject matter experts, and business teams are decided by the PMO. This is nothing but project management organizations. PMO consists of project manager, then steering committee, then core business members, and sponsors, etc. Then a project team studies legacy system and gathers information regarding core system and what interfaces is required for them, and what is necessary for them, especially for client. Next, what is nice to have. So like this, some of the information gathering by the project team. Next, there is one more team, as I said, that is core team. What core team does? So core team studies or carries out as is. This is going to be important. As is studying. As is study. What it means? It means a study of the current system and its processing. We have BBP. It means business blueprint. So now in this case or in this phase, core team does carries out that gap analysis, sorry, as is studies. And one more thing is core team will study that gap analysis. So gap analysis is nothing but what is the current system they are using before implementing SAP. There will be a lot of gap. For example, Tally to SAP. Okay, even though both are ERP software, or there is a different platform. Okay, so there will be a lot of gap between the ERP system from one product to another product. So now the core team does gap analysis, analytics to the analytics to the uh, current working system, and also what is systems to be studied. Okay, so core team does gap analysis and analyticals of the differences between the system as is and the system to be studied. And finally, that allocated the resources, write down the rules and regulations or requirement of the new system and integration point and interfaces and process how it's going to be mapped, that are going to be finalized in this BBP. And there is one more function here, the functional consultant and technical consultant. Functional consultant like SAP FICO consultant, MM consultant, SD consultant, okay, PP consultant. So any person, okay, any consultant. So they have to write the functional specification if anything is needed, and technical specifications are write down for developers like ABAP to do further configuration. So this is also works in BBP. Clear? And there is one more team called as new team, that is testing team. So testing team will start working on preparation for testing steps and scenarios, and financial specification and technical specifications that are created in this step for the development and configuration purpose. This is all about BBP. Clear? Any doubts? So same thing. Next is causation. So in this realization, so now how many teams is over now? One is project team, core team, and next in this testing team. Okay, then next we have consultant, functional consultant and technical consultant. Okay, so in the fourth step, sorry, in the third step in the realization, what once they write down that specification, technical specification and functional specification, then functional consultant carry out the configuration and development is done for required customization, that is working in this realization. So in this realization we can call it as knowledge transfer. In simple one word we can call it as knowledge transferring. Functional consultant carry out that configuration, what development is to be done for the required customization. Then testing is carried out by the core team, and basis configuration is carried out by the security team, like a basis consultant. He has to take care of all the configuration from one server to another server. So that's why a basis team moving all important configuration which they have done in the functional specification or functional configuration, and also it's moving configuration from one server to another server for testing purpose. So once the testing is done, then it's ready to work for moving the master data. But here the testing is done only in quality control server. So this is all about in the realization. All the configuration upload master data all the configurations and also uploading the master data across all the module in the sense like a FICO, then SD, okay, whatever data is available in the legacy system that needs to be updated. And also unit testing and integration testing has been done by using the testing team. And unit testing, integration testing, that is happen in this stage itself. This is overall realization. Any doubts? See, whenever especially this is very important question. Once if you finish your SAP certification, when you go for any job, okay, this is a common most 100 to 101% interview question. They would ask you in explain about implementation phases or as a methodology. So this is a common interview questions. So that's why I'm taking all the steps and explaining. This is most important. And without knowing this, if you implement any project, no use. So how it works and which team as a consultant, which team the people are working, then what is the role of the testing team, what is the role of the project team, what is the role of the core team. So that and all you have to understand in this phases. So in this realization, functional consultant carry out the configuration, development is done for the required customization, testing is carried out by the core team. Then we have a basis configuration is carried out by the security team. Next, a basis team moves all configuration from one server to another for testing purposes. Testing is done in the quality control server. Quality control server. Next, if everything is working fine, all the configuration, upload data across all modules, unit testing and integration testing has been done by testing team. Unit testing, integration testing, and day in the life testing happen at this stage. So as a consultant to achieve all this, how long it takes? Is it required 3 months? Is it required 4 months? So you have to as a consultant, when you are working for project management team, you have to first prepare documentation once if you studied that legacy system. Okay, and whatever requirement for the customers, whatever informations you have collected, that has to be uh, created by documentation, and also you have to circulate through mail uh, for the next level of the team. Okay, so project management team has to studies and prepare that information documentation what is required for customer. Then according to that, the consultant, they are going to customizing. So ABAP consultant or any technical consultant or any functional consultant, they do configurations. Clear? Any doubts? Now, which team is going to moving the data configuration from one server to another server? Could you tell me? Could you tell me which team is taking the responsibility moving configuration from one server to another server?
Is it the security team?
Security team, also called as basis team. Good. Fine. And one has to study this gap analysis. Which team has to study that gap analysis?
Sir, the core team.
Core team. Good. So core team is going to study that gap analysis. What is gap analysis? What is gap analysis? So gap analysis is nothing but what is possible to implement in SAP, what is not possible not to bring into SAP, and if does not happen in SAP, then what is the solution for that? So being as a consultant, you have to give the answer for the particular query in the gap analysis. That is called as gap analysis in simple term. Okay, are also called as the differences between current working system and SAP system. This is what I said. Core team does gap analysis, the analytics of differences between SAP system as is and system to be studied. And also in the business blueprint area itself is going to be allocate the resources. What is server requirement? Okay, the everything. So now what is the fourth step? So fourth step is final preparation. So final preparation. So in this final preparation, once all the configuration done, once testing is done, if everything is working, then we can consider that one as golden client. We can consider that system as a golden client. Golden client is nothing but production system. Production system. In this step, all configuration from the golden client will be moved to other services. So once that finalized, testing is conducted, everything is working fine. So that is going to be moved for other services. Okay. And also in that area, this is going to be uploading
Excuse me, sir.